and your title and why this workshop is important.
Okay, thank you very much, Radio Miraya and Onmis Media House. My name is Right Honorable Lawyer Nathaniel Pierino. I'm the first Deputy Speaker of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly. I'm in charge of parliamentary affairs of the Assembly. To yesterday and today, we have been engaged in a two-day workshop, a workshop which brought the leadership of the Parliament, the 35 heads of the specialized committees, the chief whips, the speakers, deputy speakers in the workshop. The workshop also brought the members of Anti-Corruption Commission, at the same time ministers of parliamentary affairs, representatives from the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the judiciary, the civil society, the partners, and the media. The workshop was convened in order to enhance the oversight responsibility of the Parliament. You are aware the Parliament has a key mandate of overseeing the executive, what the executive does. They monitor and review the executive functions. So this workshop helps to enhance the ability of the Parliament to oversee what the executive does for the people of South Sudan. The workshop is very, very important. South Sudan at the moment is under political transition, in which we have the peace agreement being implemented by the parties. The country is undergoing a number of reforms, political, economic, and social reforms, and the executive is tasked with the responsibility of implementing these reforms, while the Parliament legislates, approves the policies, passes the budget, and then they follow up with the executive on what they do with these policies and the laws. So the workshop is critical because it helps to promote good governance in South Sudan and also fight corruption in the country. Part of the root causes of the conflict that we have in the country is in failure to realize good governance, transparency, accountability, democracy, rule of law, impunity, has been prevalent in the system. So with this, the revitalized peace agreement mandates the Parliament to facilitate the implementation of the peace agreement itself and ensure that the executive of the Artigon implements the agreement in letter and spirit.
Okay, and why is it important to strengthen the oversight of the members here of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly so that, for South Sudan as a country?
The specialized committees are the shadow ministries. Each committee oversees relevant ministries. The Committee for Health oversees the Health Ministry, Committee for Finance and Economy, also for the Ministry of Finance. So it is important that these heads of committees are inducted and also are equipped with the skills necessary for their functions. This is the reason why the workshop has been organized.
Okay, so you mentioned it's important for this workshop to happen because there are critical issues going on that include corruption in South Sudan. Now, how does this corruption manifest itself? Why is it a problem?
Corruption in South Sudan is endemic. South Sudan has been topping the list of world corrupt countries with the Transparency International, and this is very unfortunate a scenario that the country finds itself in, and it's because of the individuals who work in public and private sector not doing the right thing. Corruption since 2005 has been very prevalent and with a lot of impunity. In the workshop, we have been able to discover from the reports of the South Sudan Anti-Corruption Commission that they documented 324 cases of corruption, and they reported 119 files to the Ministry of Justice. These files were due for prosecution, but the Ministry of Justice is sleeping on these files. They have not taken any step to prosecute anybody. Amidst all these reports, annual reports of South Sudan topping the list of the world corrupt countries, and also pressure from partners and donors to ensure that the country prudently utilizes its resources, and those they get in terms of donation or by way of borrowing. This is very concerned situation for us in the leadership of the revitalized parliament, and one of the rationale which informs the holding of this workshop is to acquaint the parliament with the subject matter, and also prepare for swift and effective intervention of the parliament. And as parliament, we are actually working towards ensuring a multi-agency approach, which would lead to the creation of a mechanism, a forum, which will bring all the stakeholders in this fight against corruption, such that we in the parliament, as we oversee the executive, we are able to involve other stakeholders, including the South Sudan Anti-Corruption Commission, the judiciary, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Finance. We want to make sure that impunity, as far as corruption is concerned, is stopped in the country.
Okay, thank you. So the numbers, the over 300 numbers are annual. It's an annual number, right? It's an annual figure.
No, since the establishment of the commission.
Okay. Now, this topic, is it a difficult conversation for you and for the country and for the people here? The issue of corruption and trying to fight it.
Of course, it's a very difficult topic. You know, corruption is a very lucrative enterprise, well over. In South Sudan, corruption has been benefiting certain individuals in the country, leading to state capture, leading to creation of cartel, and to be precise, the government is squeezed by the beneficiaries of corruption. You find those who benefit from the proceeds of corruption resist reforms in the institutions and in the system of the government. This is what makes it very difficult. And they are able to use resources that they obtain illegally, which is already at their disposal, to fight or resist reforms. This is a worrying situation. And also, at the background of this, we are looking at assets recovery for the people of South Sudan, those assets that are within the country, and also those assets that are repatriated outside the country. There are reports which are in the custody of South Sudan Anti-Corruption Commission of assets belonging to the public of South Sudan lying in other countries in the region, in East Africa, in Southern Africa, and also elsewhere. And my appeal is to the international community and to other partners whose functions and roles are relevant to this cause to support the efforts of the Tnla and the government of South Sudan to recover these assets. And I'm also calling upon the executive of the RT-GONU to renew the call for a zero tolerance on corruption. For us in the parliament, we have already commenced a move towards zero tolerance on corruption.
And are you faced with any challenges as you work towards this, fighting corruption? And what challenges are they?
Of course, there are challenges, but challenges are part of the game. Thank you very much.
What challenges, What challenges? Maybe can you list maybe one or two challenges that you're faced with?
Of course, the challenges of political will. The challenges now, the South Sudan Anti-Corruption Commission is understaffed and also poorly facilitated in terms of budget. We have noted that seriously. Though in the last budget we were able to increase their budget allocation, but that is not adequate. And the National Audit Chamber, they are supposed to table their regular reports to the House, and also the South Sudan Anti-Corruption Commission are supposed to table their regular reports to the House, and this has not been happening. And we are calling with this workshop, we are calling upon them to regularly table their annual reports to the House.
And what's your dream, as a parliamentarian, what's your dream for South Sudan in the future?
My dream for the country is to be a corruption-free society. Country endowed with good citizens, good government, and a good system. That is my dream.
Now, you talk about citizens. Maybe some citizens don't know what corruption looks like.
Abuse of powers. Abuse of powers by those who are placed through elections or through appointments to different offices. When they abuse their powers, their political powers, their financial powers, or social powers, both in the public and in the private sector.
Okay, anything else you want to say?
No. Thank you.